welcome to Goalie Training Pro TV, episode number 10. That's all your fingers and thumb on one hand, all your fingers and thumb on the other hand. It's not really a big deal, but it's... Can you believe we started from the bottom, now we're here. That's all I can say. This episode is all about speed, agility, and quickness. Because, well, you'll see because. I'll start by saying this episode is presented by the Rocky Mountain Mentorship and Camp, sponsored by Goalie Training. Sponsored by Goalie. It's all about me. Sponsored by the Goalie Guild. So there's actually going to be a coaches symposium, and then there's going to be a camp afterward. But it's going to be in Breckenridge, Colorado. It's this coming May. Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild put it all together. It's all his thing. We're all going to go, and we're going to stay in these ski chalets in Breckenridge and just geek out on goalie stuff for a few days. If you want more, so it's good. So I was super happy to be invited to teach and coach. So I'll be running the off-ice at the camp, and I'll be working with the coaches, helping them understand off-ice training a little better during the symposium part. And what else do I want to tell you about it? So Justin will be there, obviously, Jack Hardigan, Mike Garman, a bunch of other coaches are going to be there. It's going to be awesome. May, it's over around the Memorial Day weekend for you guys in the States. If you want more information, just go to thegoalieguild.com and you can get all the details. So it's the first annual Rocky Mountain Mentorship and Camp. So we're going to talk about speed, agility, and quickness, and they get used, people interchange them like they're the same thing, and it's just because you don't know. And I know even on this, I'm going to get some comments when someone's like, well, no, but I really use my speed to change direction fast, and, or there's going to be something weird. But it's like, so, again, it's not really my opinion of what they are. It's like, this is what they are, and this is how we train them, and these are the ones that are important for a goalie to have. So, and some of you will be like, I disagree. I think a goalie needs to be fast, but it's just because you're not using the right term. So we're going to go over the terms. Then I'm going to give you a couple little drills that will help you to be whatever it is you're trying to be on the ice, so that you can stop more pucks, and then we'll all get on with our day. So we'll start by just defining the terms. Speed is how fast you can go. So that's top end speed. So I think a good example is, because you might think like, I need, like, speed is what I need. But, even Usain Bolt, he is the fastest man, but he's actually slow getting there. So he's a wonderful 100-meter sprinter. I'm sure anybody would love to have him on really almost any sport team. But multi-directionally, that first step quickness, Usain might not be the best goalie, is what I'm saying, because his top speed is great, but it takes him a while to get there. Like if you ever been on a high-speed train, like the TGV, if you're in Paris or France, it is very, very fast, but it doesn't like pull out of the station like, it's like, and away it goes. So those are fast things. Fast is just what's the fastest you can get up to, not how fast can you get there. So then quickness is sort of that reaction impulse. How fast can you get moving? So Usain Bolt, there are sprinters that are quicker than Bolt. Their immediate impulse in getting out of the blocks is better, but he's faster, so that's why he usually sort of overtakes, not from maybe last place, but he overtakes and then dominates. So quickness is just how can I get that impulse, boom, and just get moving. Doesn't mean if I have the fastest impulse, it doesn't even necessarily mean that I'm the best. Somebody that had a slower impulse but more power could still beat me to the puck or get into position. If I have a good impulse but not a lot of power, then that's not ideal either. Agility is how well can I decelerate and then accelerate again, which may be in the same direction, almost a stutter step or a chop step or a fake and go, or it could be decelerate and then change direction, cutting or whatever. That's agility. And I think of agility, they all have a skill element, but I think agility is probably the most skill related of all those variables, which is cool because if it's a skill, it means we can teach it. We can teach speed as well. There are a lot of places where we lose efficiencies, and we can close those down and really, really teach someone to be faster without changing anything that they're doing technique-wise. We can teach them to be faster. Teaching quickness, yes, to some extent, but also to some extent, you either have that twitch or you don't. We can still improve it, but it's not going to be a huge improvement. We can make a huge improvement in agility by making you more powerful and teaching you proper movement. So then people talk about quick feet. If you want to see strength coaches go crazy, start talking about quick feet drills. We're going to do some quick feet drills now. And they will lose their mind over someone saying quick feet. But again, it's like core training used to be the same, and still a little bit. It's like, okay, but really core training, like what you mean when you say core training is you want to train your abs, and abs is not core, and so then we get confused in taking offense at language, and that's not what that means. There's no such thing as core training, but it's like, I know what you mean. When you say core training, I know what you mean. I'll call stuff core training, so you know what I mean. When you say quick feet drills, I know what you mean. And I'm going to give you some drills that what you really mean is you want to be, usually it's more agile. Sometimes it's quicker, but usually quick feet drills means more agile. So it's like, yes, I know what you mean. And since there's a skill to it, it's important to have. But it has to be taught like a skill. So I think that's where people lose their mind, because they're like, well, quick feet is like the river dance is quick feet. But that's not necessarily really going to help you stop more pucks. I'll show you some quick feet right now. Okay, so there's my quick feet. It probably was just looked like a blur because they were going so fast, but that's quick feet. So that's what strength coaches will say, like, well, that's quick feet. That doesn't help at all. You're not talking about just spazzing quick feet. You're talking about, hey, I need to learn to have more coordination, have more vocabulary of movement so that I can move quickly and precisely and be where I want to be. So again, we're not going to tell you there's no such thing as quick feet, because there is. River dance is quick feet. Agility training can teach your feet to move quicker, so that's quick feet. And if we do it within the confines of a skill that's transferable, then does that not make you a better hockey goalie? Like if I always talk about comparing it to learning music, and you guys know that I'm like a perpetual guitar student of trying to learn how to play the guitar. If I don't even have a teacher anymore, if I did, I probably would have gone through 17 teachers by now, and they'd all be like in a straitjacket somewhere, because they'll be so frustrated with how bad I am. But I can get on the guitar and, I'll show you in full effect so you can see what it looks like. Like that. And that's pretty fast. Like that's like, it's pretty much like Pete Townsend right there going on the guitar. But it's gonna like make your ears bleed. It's just terrible because there's no skill to it. There's no precision to it. So that's kind of the difference. So I need to start and learn the skill of making the chords, of hitting the strings so that it's right. And then I can link them together, and then I can start going fast, and then I can rock out like the Edge. Okay, so that's exactly what we're gonna do with your agility drills. We're gonna first see, because again, like go to YouTube and type in hockey camp off ice training, and you're gonna see like this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see like like craziness going on. And then you're going to see a coach, very tired coach probably, who's like, good job, because they're just happy that the kids are working hard. And I think they're thinking, okay, if I tire these kids out enough now, then they're going to be very docile in the afternoon, and then it's going to be easier for me to do my thing. We're going to do it the other way. We're going to start with just refining the very most basic skill, and be patient with it. And the thing with the simple skill is that we all know it's simple. We look at it and we're like, that's simple. And then when you can't do it, you're like, this is what I did in university. This what led to my demise in first year university, to tell you the truth. I would study, but if something was really hard and I didn't understand it at all, I'm looking at you, finite math and matrix algebra, I'd be like, that's not going to be on the exam. That's like way too hard. And I'd just move on to the next thing. Not the best strategy. So that's what we do. We go, well, even though I suck at it, it's so easy that I don't really need to learn that, because I want to be up here, so I don't really need to work on these things that are easy that I suck at. I'm just going to go and do the hardest thing that I can as fast as I possibly can, even though my movement quality is terrible. So we're going to look at it. We're going to clean it up. I'm going to give you a progression, and hopefully you'll understand the difference between speed, quickness, and agility, and how agility is like playing a musical instrument. I can make a lot of noise and smash on the guitar, but until I learn the chords, learn to strike the strings, learn to link them together, and then go fast, it's not gonna work. I think I'm gonna check my little notes. Oh yeah, so if we ask, what do you think a goalie needs? Does a goalie need speed? Do they need quickness? Or do they need agility? In order, I think a goalie probably needs quickness, then agility, then speed. And here's why. Very rarely is a goalie getting to top speed. Skating to the bench on a delayed penalty, and yes, it's important. The faster you can get there, the sooner an extra skater can come on, and your team has a great chance to score a goal. But again, is it a thing that happens several times a game that has a huge impact on the outcome? No. Agility, so getting in position, maybe, but then, so getting here and then immediately having to move there. Yes, that's important, but probably, again, not as much a part of it. More a part of it is quickness, initiating that first quick push. So it's like, I don't know what. Let's say the puck is behind the net. I'm doing a post lean. The puck goes out in front, so I have to quickly push out in front to sort of cut off the angle. So that is a quickness. And then now the puck gets passed back down towards the goal line. Boom, I have to quickly move back into that position. I am in my ready position. A low shot comes. I need to drop into my butterfly. I need to initiate that very, very quickly. Now, I might get into my butterfly and even make a save that puts out a rebound, and now have to half butterfly push to cover my post in a reverse VH or something like that. But again, it's sort of like boom, boom. It's not boom. Like if you think of a running back, and they're coming up, and they might come up, boom, and it's all sort of one movement. Whereas, and again, there are going to be exceptions, but I'm just saying the most often. So if I'm here and I need to move up to my post and then come back again, sometimes they're not always linked, or they're not as commonly linked. So that's why I would say quickness is the first, then agility, and then I would say speed is the least important of the three. Not that it's not important, just if we had to rank them, what's the most important? So if we think in terms of quickness and agility, so we're going to talk in terms of quickness and agility, since they're the two most important. Think of it as power development. Now I'm getting more. Think of it as power movement plus power movement. Power production plus movement skill. That's what your quickness and your agility is going to be. And Building strength is our easiest way to improve power. So even if we don't clean up your movement patterns, even if your quickness doesn't improve, if we can add strength to the equation, you will produce more power. So that's why strength training is so important, even for goalies. And some people say, well, I probably shouldn't strength train because maybe I'll gain muscle and then I'll be slow. No, if you're doing proper goalie training, then the type of muscle you're adding, if you are adding some, is actually the type of muscle that's going to help you be quicker and more agile on the ice. So it's good. And then teaching proper movement patterns and using the power is going to, again, translate into even more speed on the ice. So here's some sample drills. And I purposely put out the ladder because, again, some strength coaches get nuts about using an agility ladder. Oh, that's not like sport, and a sport doesn't use. But again, it's like playing, you could argue that playing chords isn't like playing a song, but it gives you a framework and a means to practice and a means to evaluate, hey, how well am I doing? Again, if you've ever seen a hockey camp or done it yourself, we used to run tons of camps or off ice for tons of camps. And so, we would do like in and out would be one of our basic patterns. And we would say, okay, lead with your right foot. And these kids, most of them would be dynamite. And then we'd say, okay, well, this time we're going to lead with your left foot. Well, they would be, catching the ladder, tripping on the ladder. They would start with their left foot and then do a kind of a funny step and then come out leading with their right foot again. They would switch to their dominant side. So that highlights that, hey, there's a real deficiency here in the vocabulary of movement, in the skill of that movement pattern from one side to the other. As a goalie, and we all have it. I'm a little, if I have my right pad down and I'm pushing with my left leg, I'm not as strong as when I have my left pad down and I'm pushing with my right leg. But we need to try and correct that so that we don't have those big deficiencies in our movements. And this highlights it really, really well. So to me, it's a very valuable tool. It doesn't make my feet quicker, but it gives me, a means to evaluate. Boy, when I can't really do this. I'm not very good at this pattern. So I need to practice so that I'm a really good mover. And then I'm going to apply that onto the ice. Cool. Okay, let's look at a couple more drills. I'm going to cough in a second. There it is. So this is the one that's the most basic that you'll say that you won't be very good at, but you'll say, it doesn't really matter. It's so simple anyway. Like, I can do that. I just, for whatever reason, I can't do it right now. So it's just a lateral hop and stick. So we're just going to get nice and low. So nice knee bend, good torso position. When I say tall torso, I don't mean upright. I just mean long. I have to be a little bit forward in my torso. But I'm going to balance on one leg. I'm going to hop to the other leg and stick in my nice low position. I'm going to hold that for about 3 seconds with my good knee alignment, my knee pointing straight ahead. Then I'll come back. When I can do that perfectly, landing like that and not having any little wiggle like I did on the first one, then I can go to a 2 count. Over and back. Again, am I balanced? What are my shoulders doing? When I push this way, do my shoulders lean backwards? So that's the first thing. It's got to be perfect. You got to stick your landings every time. Hold for 3 seconds. That actually makes it harder. Then move on to the next thing. Then one of the ones we do, and you don't need a ladder to do this, but I'll just use it as a framework. Again, just to see, hey, how precise am I with my movements? I want to try to, move with purpose and precision. So it's a quick step lateral hop. So quick step through and then a nice lateral hop back. So one of the things we talk about, I was talking about with the goalie group that I work with on Tuesday nights, is at that access management camp, the NHL camp, they spent a lot of time trying to get guys working on quick, powerful pushes where they weren't opening up such big gaps and then having to close big gaps. So, if I can get from here to there, boom, like that, rather than getting from here to there like that. So this is one of the things that we work on. And then I make it a contrasting pattern so that it's not always uniform and we get to combine quick little pushes with a quick bigger push. So it's just quick step, boom, lateral push. But again, I close things up quickly. I'm not trying to like get in my stance or anything like that. That adds more wear and tear to my hips, knees, and ankles. I get tons of that on the ice. And really, it's not going to change your footwork pattern being that way. So don't do it. It's just here is my torso staying stable. Sometimes we do get glove hand, blocker. You know, where should that be? You know, where should you be looking? If I'm going this way, I should be looking and then coming back. So that's another one. You can also do it to a balance. So be, and then stick that balance on the inside. And you would do that to both directions. So then you would come over here, boom, and work on pushing side to side. Oh, and then quick step lateral. So a lot of our movement on the ice is lateral. It's side to side. There isn't as much, you know, straight forward, straight back. Yes, you need to come out in your crease to challenge the puck and move back to your post. So there is some, but a lot of the repetitive movement is, you know, side to side following the play. So, you know, if you think about even skaters or think about football players, they spend a lot of time working on their straight line sprints, on becoming better sprinters, on becoming faster, moving in their dominant plane of motion. But goalies don't spend hardly any time working in their dominant plane of motion to get better, to be better like lateral sprinters. You know, so we've started working a lot more on just like quick step lateral. I'm going to show you out of the ladder first and then in the ladder. But again, just this idea of pushing off this leg. Sorry, I'll show you this way. Pushing off this leg, but also pulling on this leg so that it's not just a one-sided kind of thing. It's active both ways that you're pushing and pulling. And then we can work on it with precision too. So we'll start 1 foot in each rung. I'm always going to lead with this foot, boom, and then close it up, boom, 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 boom. So I can come down and I can watch, and you'll see if you try it, and especially if you use a ladder where it challenges you to be uniform with your steps, you'll see that going one way, you know, you're pretty good. The other way, your steps are not as uniform or even, and you're stepping on the ladder and you're losing track of where you are. So, yeah, that's the other one. So, you know, a nice quickness drill, just getting those lateral sprints, staying low in your leg, keeping your body nice and stable. If we wanted to make it an agility drill, we could, so I just thought of this one, but we can do it as a little pyramid. So I can do 1 over, 1 back, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. You know, so we get that change of direction, which is important to build in too. But first, it's a little stamina drill too. But first, I would build in the skill of pushing and pulling. And again, you don't need to be like in your crouch with your knees pinched in. Don't add extra wear and tear to your hips like that. Just, you know, work on the hip pattern. Checking my list. So, we're wrapping it up here. Speed is how top end speed, how fast you can get going. Quickness is your impulse, how quickly you can get started. Agility is how well you can decelerate and then accelerate again, which could be in the same direction, in the opposite direction, side to side. Agility is the most skill of it, learning to decelerate. Again, the goalie group that I work with on Tuesday nights here at Revolution, you know, we're just talking about, hey, what's the biggest thing you've noticed on the ice? I've noticed I can stay lower in my legs, which gives me more power on the ice. So again, a good chance to practice doing those movements while being low in your legs. Building strength is the easiest way to improve your power. Having more power will improve your speed, your quickness, and your agility. And then cleaning up your movement patterns, practicing your movement patterns just like you would if you're playing an instrument is gonna then help it translate onto the ice, so that it's not just crazy quick feet that burns up a lot of energy but doesn't really get you where you want to go. It's moving with that precision and purpose, which is always what we want to do to help us stop more pucks. So this is Maria from goalietrainingpro.com with episode 10 of Goalie Training Pro TV. Yes, I did have a cup of coffee today, so I'm a little excited. Hey, I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram at Goalie Training. I post some stuff there. And if you want to get sort of a little bit inside, but not really so much into my private group training or online private coaching programs, you can check out the Goalie Training Lab here on Facebook. It's a private Facebook page, but it's totally free. I jump in there once every couple of days. I post some special stuff there. Again, it's not like for my paid groups where I'm in there every day, but I still jump on there and hang out. It's an awesome group of goalies. It's a really supportive group. So there isn't any, and I think some of the chirping on other sites is hilarious, but this isn't one of those sites where we like try to make each other feel bad and cry and stuff. It's just like, yeah, you ask about off ice training, you can talk about equipment, you can post videos of you playing. We've had some of those, which I really, really love. So that's just Goalie Training Lab. You just have to ask to be added, and then my assistant Sarah goes in kind of once or twice a day and looks it up, and if it's pretty clear that you're a goalie from your profile, then you're in, and it's free. So that's it, gang. I hope you have a great day. Tomorrow I will be going Facebook Live. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm doing this on a Thursday, so Friday Facebook Live is where I answer any questions that you email me, so I don't have time to type answers back to everybody. If you email me a question or message me a question on the Goalie Training Pro Facebook page, on this page, I answer them on Fridays on a live Q&A. And then Sarah, my assistant, she posts them to the goalietrainingpro.com blog like a couple days later. If you send questions to my personal Facebook page where I just like hang out with my high school friends and my family, I probably won't see it. So if you've put a question there and I don't answer it, that's why I don't see it. That's sort of a recreation thing for me. Goalie Training Pro TV is where I interact with all the goalies, all you guys. So, see ya!